Lots of people want to go pro in Fortnite, but less than 1% of people make it. Whether or not you make it comes down to if you follow these 4 fundamentals. So I'll go over all 4 in this video, and I guarantee if you follow these fundamentals, you'll be able to consistently get earnings in cash cups and even make tens of thousands of dollars in FNCS every single month. But it's very important that you follow all 4 fundamentals and not just 2 or 3. But how long it takes to go pro completely depends on your skill level, and some people will never go pro. But if you're already earning and just need to reach that next pro level, then it could just take 1 more month of these 4 fundamentals to go pro. But going pro is only possible if you follow the 4 fundamentals I'll share in this video. The first fundamental is consistency. This means keeping up with your routine and following it as much as you can. But before I tell you where most people go wrong with this, I want to let you know about a way pros are getting more stable ping and sometimes even less ping just by clicking one button. The way they do this is through ExitLag, which is the best gaming optimization tool ever to be released. ExitLag stabilizes your ping, and for me, it's the only way I can get 0 ping. It does this through its AI route optimizer, which is where AI is used to find the best route for data packets in real time, which optimizes your connection to over 2,000 game servers worldwide. Not only this, but it has a dynamic stabilizer which runs these data packets through up to 4 different parts simultaneously, which ensures a faster and more secure connection. With over 1,000 servers across 5 continents and 18 million weekly optimizations, you'll get top tier performance regardless of your location. The best part is you can even get ExitLag for completely free for the first 3 days using the link in the description, and once you've seen for yourself how good ExitLag is, you can get the annual plan for 50% off by using code Blexiti at checkout. But be quick because this offer ends very soon. Now let's get back to the video. The way most people go wrong when they hear the word consistency is thinking they have to stick with the same routine for months. But what most people don't realize is that using an A/B routine and adapting your routine is one of the most overpowered ways to see fast improvement. So by consistency, I really mean just staying consistent with an optimal routine. You can build an A/B training routine to change it up but see rapid improvement, and I'll talk about how you can do this later in the video. Now, before I tell you about fundamental 2, let me quickly tell you why it's literally impossible to go pro if you don't follow this fundamental of consistency. And this really comes down to 2 main reasons. The first reason is that if you're not being consistent with the right practice, someone else is, and the reality is, Fortnite is a competition. You have to place better than others, so you have to be consistent. The second reason is that if you consistently follow a routine that follows the fundamentals in this video, then your chances of going pro will be higher simply because you're being consistent and sticking to a good balanced routine every day. Playing something that isn't optimal is simply a waste of time and can even make you worse, especially if you're missing out on an important part of your routine. So that's why it's important to stay consistent with the actual practice methods that are in your routine that you know are going to work well. Speaking of your routine, just applying fundamental 2 to your routine alone can skyrocket your improvement, and this fundamental is time efficiency, which is where you only spend your time with effective practice methods that are focused on your specific weaknesses. And if you only have a few hours to play, then you won't go pro if you're not time efficient and waste time in useless practice methods. Some of the best ways to practice are 1v1s, free building, Raiders mechanics training V5 map, ranked, 2v1 clutch realistics, 32 player zone wars, scrims, and Kovacs if you have bad mouse control. Obviously, you won't be able to play all of these, but you can pick the ones that focus on your weaknesses. Fundamental 3 is adaptation. This is something all of the best players in the world do, and you probably don't even know they're doing it. And you also probably aren't doing it yourself, which could be the reason why you're not improving as fast as you want to be. There are 2 main steps to adaptation. Step 1 is to find your weaknesses. weaknesses. Now, I think I know the best way to find your weaknesses, as I've helped tons of people in my Discord figure out what they need to work on. So listen up, because I use the exact same formula every single time. What you want to do is look back at your games and watch back your fights in slow motion. Doing this will help you see your weaknesses and how you're taking damage very easily and unnecessarily. But then you want to write down what these weaknesses are, but try to be specific. After you have your weaknesses, it's time to adapt your routine by simply making sure that your routine is tailored to helping improve your weaknesses. But make sure to keep your routine balanced so you keep up all areas of your game. So let's say you struggled with piece control, then adding the piece control tunnels in Raiders V5 mechanics map to your routine is an example of a good adaptation. But now let me tell you about something I usually give to people I work with that have allowed them to get earnings. And this is an A/B training routine, which is where you have two optimal routines and rotate between each of them whilst adapting them. You could either do routine A on one day and routine B on the next day, which is what I recommend, or you can switch between them weekly. The reason I think this works so well is because it avoids making you reach a skill cap, because if you practice the same things over and over, then you will eventually reach the skill cap. If you follow the adaptation fundamental I talked about earlier, then this also combats this. But I still recommend an A/B training routine, as it also helps you avoid burnout by changing things up, which makes the game more enjoyable. You also get to practice more variety, as you can do different practice methods each day, but make sure your routine is focused and specific to what you need to work on. Also, make sure you've liked and subscribed if you want the best videos to help you improve at Fortnite. But now, let's go over fundamental 4, which is mentality. If you don't have the right mentality, then you simply won't go pro. I can literally guarantee it. But what you think I mean by mentality is probably not actually what I mean. I'm not going to tell you that you can't go pro if you get angry when you die in Fortnite. There's literally hundreds of pros that do that. By mentality, I mean two things: actually wanting to improve and actually wanting to be as effective as possible, even if it means you have to go against better players to improve. And yes, you have to go against better players to improve, or at least players around your skill level. You can actually get worse if you continue to play against worse players. To find better players in scrims, try and get into the highest division possible in the scrim server you're in. To find better players in 1v1s, go to a scrim Discord server and look in the looking for players section, or just load into a map that typically has better players, like Rezon's 1v1 map, or just look on Twitter. But with the way Fortnite is, if you want to go pro, you typically need a good trio, as most of the prize pool is put into trios. But although this is the case if you're just starting out, then I recommend prioritizing solos at first. And this is because of 3 main reasons. The first is that solos is mainly all down to you. So if you die in solos, it's your fault 90% of the time, so you really don't have an excuse. And this kind of forces you to know that when you died, you must have made a mistake at some point during that game which led to you dying. This also makes solos really good for finding your weaknesses. The other reason I recommend prioritizing solos at first is that it makes you a good individual player, so you won't have to rely on your teammates to carry you, and you can actually put in the work. The third reason is because it's probably the easiest way to get your first earnings and first lot of PR. And the more earnings and PR you get, the better teammate you'll be able to get in trios. If you want to master your mechanics, then make sure to watch this video where I go over the best mechanics training routine with Raiders' new map. But make sure to like and subscribe and use code Blexiti in the Fortnite item shop if you want to support me further. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.